dudes with attitudes, let's go. It's the two dudes and our attitudes ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. We're Ryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. A 5-star broadcast, shit, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E, the two dudes with the attitudes that bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on, time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it poppin'.
You are now tuned in to Two Dudes with Attitudes, a wrestling podcast with the Heartbreak Dude Denton and Ryan Enjoys Wrestling, and we are here about the AEW, and someone knows how to say that chant pretty well now. Going to his first, he popped a cherry, right?
Yeah,
cherry.
No, I've been to my first AEW pay-per-view. I've been to an event.
I just went to okay.
Yeah.
All right. Second one. All right. Yeah, I went to three. The three out and one was a pay-per-view. But yeah, good stuff, man. But we are here with that edition. Got a lot of stuff to talk about. We're gonna cut out a few of the things, some of the fat. We're gonna just do Revolution and we're gonna do Dynamite. Two big things. And it's kind of like a new era, right? Revolution was the end, Dynamite now new, the stage, all that fun stuff. But before we get into that, we got some news to talk about, Mr. Ryan. Hit us with that news.
Yeah, let's get into
breaking news.
Yeah, the Sammy Guevara is suspended, and I don't know why, but apparently he is suspended for the botched spot that he did with Jeff Hardy on the February 16th episode of AEW Rampage. And in that match, it was Jeff Hardy versus Sammy Guevara, and Hardy suffered an injury on a botched shooting star press that Sammy Guevara hit, and his knee hit Jeff Hardy's face. And there was a caucus and a conference. Everybody was getting together in the middle of the match to try to figure out what was going on. And per sources of Fightful, Sean Ross Sapp, and Dave Meltzer, of course, the Sammy Guevara was told to go right to the finish of the match after Doc Sampson checked on Hardy, as there was fear that Jeff had suffered a concussion. However, Guevara continued and hit Hardy in the head with his GTH finisher, which is essentially the go to sleep, which is another knee to the head. And the feeling in the back is that Sammy Guevara should have ended the match right away if there was concern about a possible concussion. It was also said that he should not have done a GTH. And they're also saying that there was a miscommunication between the involved parties, that maybe the referee said, hey, let's go to the finish. And that means when that says, hey, go to the finish, that means hit your finisher. So in my opinion, it should be on. I don't know if Sammy Guevara should be suspended for this unless there's more to it that we don't know, but it looks like it's on the referee who, didn't communicate clearly. Also, just end the damn match. No more, they got to stop with this. No more of these. WWE, when somebody gets hurt, they stop the match. They raise the.
They don't just pin.
Yeah, no, they don't go to the pin. They don't end the match. They don't say, "Hey, go to the finish and hit your finisher again." And they just stop the match, and that's it.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's what AEW should have done in this situation. And after the match, though, you could tell that Matt Hardy was legitimately pissed. He was he flipped Sammy Guevara off, and Jeff Hardy was legitimately pissed. And I thought it was part of the Jeff Hardy eventual heel turn that we have coming on, but apparently there was legit heat on Sammy Guevara. But my thing is like I said, I think it should be on the ref, but also he continued to wrestle. This match was on February 16th, and he was wrestling on the go home episode of Collision between Rampage and a non-DQ match against Powerhouse Hobbs. That make that make sense. And he was doing segments with the Don Callis family. So when was this investigation done? Why did it take so long? Why was he continuing to wrestle if he's so unsafe in the ring? This whole thing just does not make any sense to me. It feels like there's more to the story than we're being told.
I think it's a perfect case of Jeff Hardy's injury was probably more serious than it was at the time. And now they're got to stay face, and Tony Khan needs to blame. And there's always a scapegoat, right?
Yeah.
Right, Jack Perry? Always a scapegoat. So I think shout out to my boy, Jungle Boy. Hey. But scapegoat, they gotta put someone. And so why not Sammy? And I don't think he's ever liked Sammy Guevara. So
yeah, he's had problems in the backstage in the past. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so I don't know it. I wasn't backstage. I don't know. I know Jeff and Matt Hardy were pissed to be, but if I was told to finish a match, I'd be like, oh shoot, okay, and I would do my finisher. That's a finish the match. If I was told to pin him now, I would be like, oh shoot, okay, pin him now. But how do you know Sammy even knew? It didn't even look like Sammy knew he hit him in the head. You're doing that fly, you don't know. I mean, who knows what you hit? And this, I think it's all bogus. I think it's weird, and a suspension seems a little steep for miscommunication in any
yeah,
sense.
I
I
agree. And
doubt he did it to hurt him.
no,
I
he
don't
didn't.
think
Yeah.
Sammy's that's his hero. I don't think that's what happened. So
No, unless again, there's more to it that we don't know. That he maybe the
yeah,
refs said pin him now, and he didn't win hit his finisher. If
yes.
that's the case, then suspend him all day long. If the
Yep.
if the ref said finish the match, and he's like, no, we're gonna go the whole time, like whatever, then yes, suspend him. But from what we're being told and what it looks like in the ring, it just something
Mhm.
adding up, and it makes me think that again, why isn't the ref getting in trouble? Why isn't the referee is the one that he is the quarterback of the match. He's the one that's calling the shots. He is the one that is calling the plays. He calls the audibles. He makes the decisions based on what he's being told, or she. So why didn't they? I don't know. I feel like they should be getting the brunt of some of this punishment as well. But who knows?
Yeah, totally agree with you. Well said. Well said. Well said. All right, what else in the news?
The other news that we have is Mercedes Moné, and I'm actually glad we're doing our podcast at 11:30 at night Eastern time, because we wouldn't have gotten this otherwise if we did it earlier. But she is about to, apparently, rumor has it, we don't know until we know, but she is going to debut for AEW on March the 13th, this coming Wednesday's Dynamite, which is big business in Boston. And
So
she was she was on a podcast today, and the podcast is called the Kicking Rocks Kick Rocks podcast. And part of she was talking about just her career in AEW and everything, but apparently one of the things that she said, it was edited out of the full version of the podcast, but it was included in a clip that was uploaded to the YouTube channel for this podcast. But she said, I know I'm going to be back there one day, talking about the WWE. So it's not over. Like I said, I have a lot of unfinished business in wrestling in a lot of places. And again, this quote was taken out of the full version of the podcast. It was edited out, but included in a clip uploaded. So they're trying to hide the fact that she said this, but she said it. And to me, it's not a good look. It's not the best look for her that she hasn't even debuted in AEW yet, and she's already talking about going back to the WWE. I know it's probably not going to be until 3, maybe 5 years from now because of the contract that she's on. But at the same time, that's not a good look at all. You're muted.
sorry, there it is. I was coughing.
There you go.
Yeah, I most people who go, I hate when they like trash the other company, right? When they like poop on it and they're like, no, I'm going to the bet. Like Swerve Strickland, I love that dude. But for him to like constantly come out and be like, oh no, I'm in AEW for a reason. It's the best wrestling, the end. But stop saying you have the best wrestlers. I'm sorry. Like I heard Ospreay say that you don't have the best wrestlers. And WWE doesn't have the best. You guys are all like, there's talent everywhere. Stop saying you have the best wrestlers. But I'm glad she didn't say anything like that. But the sense that she came out and was like, oh, WWE, yeah, I'm going to go there again one day. Like, no big deal. Kind of seems like I'm here for the money, right? I heard WWE didn't want to give me what I wanted. Tony Khan, which we'll get into next, is shelling out a lot of dough like Eric Bischoff. So I might as well just come here for 2 years, get my pay, and then go back to WWE, where hopefully the Vince McMahon stuff has gone away and now I can go back to the better show. That's how I read it. And I think that's a diss. And I think it's a diss towards AEW. And I think Tony Khan should have a meeting with her when she shows up and say, hey, I'm literally dedicating a whole Dynamite.
Fire her. Yeah.
Yeah, right? Yeah. See you later to her dumb ass. And you're like straight saying you'd go back to WWE one day. Just a weird statement. You always say like never say never, or I don't know what my future holds. Right now I'm focused on AEW. The fact that she was like, yeah, it's weird. Yeah.
Yeah, and I get it, right? She couldn't say, well, I'm definitely going to be in AEW because it's supposed to be a surprise that she's coming on Wednesday. But at the same time, don't say that. Don't say I'm definitely going back to WWE one day before you've even shown up on AEW television. And now I have a feeling, like you said, that you don't like it when they bash WWE TV. I have a feeling Tony Khan's going to write her script on Wednesday night, and it's going to be just trashing WWE just to, just to prove that, hey, we have her and you don't. And when I said I was going to go back, it was going to go back to laugh. It was going to go back to make fun of all the losers, that something like that. But yeah, I think she's going to go out there trashing the WWE because of Tony Khan's pettiness, and I don't think that's the right decision to do either.
Yeah, you're right.
I can see it.
You're right. I mean, yeah, I can see it too. I can see it fully. So well said. And let's go back in. So let's just continue on with this. So what's next? Let's finish on the last one.
Yeah, so we'll talk about this when we get to Dynamite, but Kazuchika Okada debuted on AEW Dynamite, and it was a whatever kind of debut. We'll talk about it again, but one of the things that people have kind of come to light over the last couple of days since his debut is his salary with AEW. And apparently he is being paid. He's inked a 3-year deal with AEW. This is from Tokyo Sports. He has inked a 3-year deal with AEW, estimated to be valued at 2 billion yen over the contract's duration. And that comes out to about $4.5 million per year, making his total contract $13.5 million over the 3 years. So that's a lot of money. And if he's making $4.5 million per year, how much is he paying Mercedes Moné? How much is he paying Will Ospreay? How much was he paying Moxley and all these guys? How much is are these guys getting underpaid? How much is MJF asking for to come back? But also at the same time, you're paying all these people all this money, but you're losing viewers. You hit 700,000 plus viewers on Dynamite in your ratings this week. So it's not really working. Is it helping your business grow? Are you making a profit? That's what I want to know. You have all this money, great, and go for it. Get your bag if you're the wrestlers. I'm completely happy for them to get paid. They deserve it. But at the same time, is it helping your business? That's what I'm concerned about. Is it helping your business move forward, and is it helping you drive? Is it helping you get to the next level? And I don't think it is.
Okay, so I posted a TikTok about this, about if you say anything about AEW, you know what I mean? It's like you're dogging the entire company. So I just want to put a disclaimer out. Once again, we do a podcast. No, I do not dedicate hours upon hours of my life to do a podcast just so I can trash AEW. That's not what I'm doing.
What?
Okay, I like AEW. So when I say this, just take it as what it is. Okay, Okada is not that dude. Okay. And what I mean by that is that he's not that dude who is going to move the needle. Now, you can't take these past ratings, and we'll talk about that when Dynamite comes and whatever else, as a you know what I mean, as a disclaimer, because people didn't know he was coming, right? So that's just, it is what it is.
That's true.
I don't think Brock Lesnar was making 4.5 million a year for WWE under his pocket, minus the fact that you're going to pay Okada. I'm not saying he's old or washed up. He's still young. He's been around, but I'm just saying he's not 4.5. If it's true, that's a lot of freaking money. And I get it, right? He has a lot of money. So be it, right? And so be it. Pay him whatever you want. I'm not dogging him because Okada made his chip. Good for you. I'm just once again judging TK's mindset of owning a wrestling organization. That money can go. MJF, how much does he make?
We don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so if MJF ain't making anywhere near that, I'm quitting.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. I'm going to say you're paying Okada 4.5 million. You're giving me 2. I'm out. I'm sorry. If you're Adam Copeland, if you're Britt Baker, I would be like, I'm out. I'm 100% out. You're paying Okada. If you're Will Ospreay and you just signed 3 months ago for $3 million, I'm out. I'm walking out the door. Okada making 4.5 million is insane. And that's not the dog Okada. I think Okada's fantastic. I'll talk about his debut, which I thought was meh, but I think Okada is fantastic. I think he's a good asset. but they're not going to push the ratings up like that. He's not going to make that money back. So why pay him that much? If you wanted to steal him from WWE, Triple H wasn't paying him anywhere near that. So it's just kind of bananas to me if it's true. Once again, spend your money as you want.
True. Yeah.
But just like WCW back in the days, Eric Bischoff started paying people. And so he had to make a thing in the contract that if you signed somebody new, then other people got to match up in that pay, right? It was like if he signed, Bret Hart for $12 million, Kevin Nash then had to make $12 million. Or Hogan had to then make more than 12. You know what I mean?
He had to make
it
was like a penny more too. It was like
yeah. Which makes sense because you can't just like, hey, you're doing everything and making our company thrive, and then we're going to pay this random dude this much money. I don't know how much they're paying everybody. Maybe they all make $4.5 million. I have no idea at all. But I don't think so. So that's just a crazy number. And I'm not dogging Okada. I love Okada.
No,
I do.
yeah.
That's just to me. Yeah.
Like, do you think Roman Reigns is making $4.5 million in WWE? Because I think he should.
Yes, I think he's making $4-5 million. He might be making $10 million a year, but not from WWE. That's from sponsors, from this, from sales, he's making it other ways. He ain't making it.
No,
that's pocket. That's like UFC fighters, right? Like John Jones makes $500,000 a fight, but he makes $12 million a year, $15 million a year, right? They make money other ways. That's in his pocket. Nah, fam. No wrestler's getting 4.5. No way. Mm-mm.
Yeah. I don't think so.
All right.
But yeah, that's really all the news that we have in AEW. It was Kevin Kelly got fired for being a doofus, but so he's no longer the AEW Collision commentator with Nigel McGuinness. So now it's Collision taped actually yesterday, I think, or today, and it was Tony Schiavone on commentary with Nigel. So it looks like that's going to be the commentary going forward on AEW Collision. But we don't need to get into too many reasons with that. But just worth noting that Tony Khan, he might actually be showing a little bit of a backbone right now and actually being a boss. He fired Kevin Kelly for running his mouth. He suspended Sammy Guevara. So maybe he's turning a corner.
He is. Yeah, maybe. Or maybe it was the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
All right. Suspension. All right. You ready? Let's get into AEW Revolution. I'm going to say every card, all 10 of them, because I'm not going to do the 2 sleeper ones. All 10 main cards.
Go for it.
Bruh, you were there for 10 freaking matches. All 10 matches.
It was glorious.
5 hours long. We'll just cover them and then we'll talk about whatever. We don't obviously got to talk about every match. Please don't. But we can talk about whatever you want. But all right, AEW Revolution, 6 seconds or less. Statlander and Willow defeat Sky Blue and Julia Hart. Christian Cage defeats Daniel Garcia. Eddie Kingston defeats Bryan Danielson and shakes his hand. Wardlow wins the All-Star Scramble. Roderick Strong defeats Orange Cassidy. The Blackpool Combat Club defeat FTR. Tony Storm defeats Deonna Purrazzo. Will Ospreay defeats Takeshita. Samoa Joe defeats Hangman Page and Swerve Strickland by submitting Hangman Page. And Sting and Darby Allin defeat the Young Bucks. And that is the AEW Revolution review. And good thing you didn't bet your money on my picks. Let's go. Let's go over. What do you want to... Any matches that stand out, good or bad? What do you just want to talk about?
So, yeah, I mean, being at the arena versus watching this show at home are two different things. I haven't watched it back yet, and I probably won't because it was such a positive experience in that arena. The crowd was lit from beginning to end. Maybe lost some steam right around the women's championship match, but then picked it right back up with the Ospreay Takeshita match and everything. So going by the crowd, the match of the night was Takeshita versus Will Ospreay because they were,
I think, online too.
Yeah. But just based on the crowd's reaction and everything, my match of the night was Hangman Page versus Swerve versus Samoa Joe, just because of the storytelling element of Page tapping out. Did he do it to prevent Swerve from winning, or did he legitimately tap out to the Coquina clutch? I mean, it was just a solid way to end that match. But
we can talk about that on Dynamite.
Yeah, because they didn't even talk about it. But yeah, I mean, the atmosphere in the arena was from start to finish was great. But I got to say, Sting's last match, man, that was. I'm proud of AEW. I am proud of them because, minus the Darby Allin spot with the glass, that was the perfect way to send off Sting. That was the perfect way to write him off. They used him perfectly. And I mean, he was 30-0 in his matches in AEW. He was all tag team matches. He put over other talents, even though he won every match. Apparently, the rumors are that Sting wanted to lose, but the Young Bucks demanded that he win. Darby Allin wanted to. I think the only one that really wanted to lose was Sting. And it just shows how selfless he is in the ring. He wanted to go out on his back, but the Young Bucks and Tony Khan and Darby Allin kind of talked him out of it and said, "No, you gotta win your last match." And so, if that's true, shout out to the Young Bucks too for doing the right thing. And I know they get a lot of flack in the wrestling world, but
they're good dudes. Yeah,
they understand and they get it. But I gotta say, just the entire production of Sting's last match, it shows me that AEW can do it. It felt like a big league production from the movie theater scene of Sting watching clips of his career to his sons coming out dressed as Surfer Sting and Wolfpack
Such
Sting.
a cool moment.
Yeah, it was. I didn't realize those were his kids at first. I was like, whoa, like Sting's coming out as Surfer Sting. And then I was like, wait a second, there's Wolfpack Sting. I'm like, wait, I was like, are these holograms? Like, did they get holograms? And then here comes real Sting. And then I was like, nope, those are his kids, which was an incredible moment too. It was fantastic. And then just the match itself. I mean, it was a spot fest. Don't get me wrong. Sting going through glass, Sting going through tables, but it was how he wanted it to go. And he won the tag team. He retained his tag team championships, but it just shows me that AEW, when they want to, they can put together a quality production. And I thought Sting got the perfect send off, and I loved it. It was great.
Yeah. So I texted you. I was at Disneyland, I think, when this match was going on. I watched it when I got home later on. And you said it was a 9 out of a 10. And I didn't doubt it. The pay-per-view I went to, I forgot what it was called already. But one I went to, Full Gear, I gave it a 10 out of 10. I still think that's a way better pay-per-view than this one. I think people get excited over things. I know it's Sting's last match, so you win because you were there for the Stinger's last match. That's way better than anything that happened at Full Gear. But after watching it, I gave it a 7 out of 10. I didn't think it was just because I thought there were things that were bad. So let's talk about Sting, like you said. Yes. I don't even want to do the whole what people are, it's better than what WWE did.
No, yeah.
Yes. We know WWE effed up. Sting knows WWE. I mean, Triple H, they all know. It is what it is. Things should have never went to WWE. He went to just go to the Hall of Fame and they messed it up and then he got injured. Who knows what he would have done if he didn't get injured? I don't know. But I just realized he was undefeated. I've been hearing about it, and I just realized he didn't have a singles match. That blows my mind. I didn't know that. Like I should have, but I didn't. But this was the best. I don't think it's the best way Sting could have ended his career because I never saw Sting as this type of wrestler. But this was the best way to end Sting's AEW career because this is who he was in AEW, and AEW did him well. I don't think this is the best Sting, and that's not a shot at AEW because sorry to break it to you, but Sting in WCW.
Yeah.
No, is that beautiful? Joker Sting. That's some good ass Sting, but AEW Sting is pretty damn good. And for any crap you give Tony Khan or I give Tony Khan for booking, he did do Sting right. And I wish Darby didn't do that stupid spot because why try to take away from Sting and why do a spot that's 100% unnecessary?
Yeah, I didn't understand that.
This guy, if he doesn't die in Mount Everest, will die afterwards with the spots he does. This guy obviously doesn't care to live. I'm not saying that in a way that he's suicide. I mean, in a way that he is one of those people who just don't care. He's going to jump off a building if he has to because he doesn't fear death. And some people are like that, and that's fine. But I happen to like Darby Allin a little bit, and I'd like to see him have a long career. But maybe he doesn't care. That's his choice. But anyway, the match was good. I liked it all. I love that the Young Bucks took the dive and tapped out. Beautiful moment. I didn't like that he got cut off. I get time happens. You guys got to see a lot more. But after what happened too, I'm sorry. I don't like that he brought out Tony Khan. Once again, I know that wasn't on Tony Khan. I'm not crapping on Tony Khan. We don't, but come on, dude. I've seen a lot of retirements. Shawn Michaels didn't call out Vince McMahon. People don't I just don't understand It's like what I was talking about with Eddie Kingston, that everybody always has to come to the defense of him. I just feel like these wrestlers feel like they have to come to the defense. Like, and I owe this all to Tony Khan. Tony Khan, come out here. And Tony Khan's like, I don't want to come out. No, Tony Khan, come. No, I don't want to come out. No, come on. Like,
and
you
Tony,
don't
man,
have to. Why don't you just say, like, Tony,
this was the best pay-per-view ever.
Uh-huh.
It was incredible. And thank you, Sting, for such a great moment. I was just like, dude, stop.
Yeah, shut up. It wasn't the best paper.
Yeah.
Like, what was it a great paper? You can have things that are great that aren't the best. Like, great pay-per-view, sure. 7 out of 10. I think that's a great pay-per-view. Like, that's a good. I mean, I know it's like a C, but nah. And I only think it's a C because some matches were just straight trash. And we could talk about that. I mean, sorry to break it to you, but Statlander, Willow, and all them, meh. I mean, Eddie Kingston and Bryan Danielson, I thought was straight utter garbage. And I've went into it too much and I don't need to keep going into it. Wardlow's All-Star Scramble was a freaking joke. Tony Storm and why'd they even bring Deonna Purrazzo over? I don't understand. I've seen her on Impact. She was phenomenal. Did she forget how to wrestle? And you can't blame Tony Storm. And other than that, everything else was good. Yes. And Will Ospreay, Takeshita. I guarantee you, Ryan, it was a 10 out of 10 when you watched it live. I feel like that's a match that probably would be fun live. But here's my thing. And he did it again, and we'll talk about it on Dynamite. I'm old school, bruv. I'm old school, as he would say, bruv. I'm old. Now he's got me saying it all the time, bruv. I'm old school, right? I don't like no selling. I didn't like when Hogan did it. I don't like no selling. The fact that these guys hit a move, kick out at one, kick out at one, a move, kick out at one, move. I don't. That's not wrestling. It's not. And here's the thing, right? This is what AEW people, when they attack me for, is like, because you're used to WWE and that's what they've told you to like. No, I'm into the fact that if I bring in a stranger who has never watched wrestling and I say, hey, I really want you to watch wrestling, watch this match, and I put that match on, they're going to look at me and laugh and say, this shit's a joke. 100%. They're going to say, this is trash. What are these guys doing? Ballerina? They're going to hate it. And that's how I've always gauged. If you cannot get a person outside of your realm to enjoy a match, then it's not a good match. Stop caving into the hardcores. And this is the match. Will Ospreay and Takeshita are better than that. I just feel like sometimes wrestlers get so caught up in their art and know that they can do things that they try to think outside. Like, it's going to be fun to just like no sell concept. It's going to be fast paced. We can do it. We're athletic enough, but you have to tell a story, man. You got to it has to be real. No sells. What makes a Roman Reigns match so great? That he flips, that he doopity-doos, that he has good moves? No, is that every single time he gets pinned, it's at 2 and 3 freaking quarters, man. That guy knows how to kick out in the last second every single time, and that's what draws you in, because you think he's gonna lose every single time and he doesn't. That's storytelling. Just flipping and no selling moves like super kicks and power drivers, and these guys are just jumping up. I'm sorry. I'm not saying the match was bad. I think the match was good. I do. I just don't like no selling. I'm old school, bruv. I need that. Other than that, it was great. And that's all I'll say about that.
No, I thought I agree with you. I was like, why is he kicking out at one? Like, what are we doing here? This is,
but the crowd loved it.
Yeah, the crowd was into it, like from beginning to end. So,
but maybe that's the AEW vibe.
Yeah, maybe I was drinking the Kool-Aid because I was also kind of into it too. I was like, oh my God.
I know you were.
But then I'm like,
but I would too. Yes.
Yeah. Because you gotta, but it was a fun night. My biggest disappointment of the night, though, was no Adams. The only Adam I got to see was Adam Page, which, again, he mysteriously tapped out, and we can talk about that when we get to Dynamite. But there was no Adam Copeland after the Christian Cage match, which, okay, fine. Yep. But then Kyle O'Reilly comes back, and he looked like somebody who had been in a coma for 20 years. Like, he looked terrible.
Thank you.
Yeah, he looked like he looked like the time away has actually done him more harm than good.
Did that come off live?
Yeah, I was just like
at first I was around you. Like,
yeah, at first we were just like, who is that? And then I was like, oh my gosh, that's Kyle O'Reilly. Like, he looks like he's fallen on some hard times recently. But
yes, thank you.
But the thing is Adam Cole wasn't there, so like Roderick Strong is making the decisions now for the Undisputed Kingdom to give people shirts. And I don't know. I feel like that moment would have gone over a lot better if Adam Cole had been in the ring, knowing their history together with the Undisputed Elite and everything like that, or Undisputed Era and everything like that. So I was disappointed at that. Like, yeah, Kyle O'Reilly's return was cool, but no Adam Cole there to help welcome him back was a miss for me. And then, yeah, the other big thing for me was the merch. The merch was lackadaisical at best. It was not like and they ran out of stuff too, and that really pissed me off. Like, not an hour into the show, I went to the merch table right after all 8 entrances were announced for the championship scramble, and
sent me a pic. Yeah,
that was like, yeah, the merch table just looked like a bunch of people had just pickpocketed it or raided the place. It was just, everything was gone except for the $850 TNT championship belt.
It's always there.
And like a Sting mask. But like, yeah, I was really disappointed in the lack of merch, and I get it, right? It was Sting's last match, so everything there was pretty much Sting related, and I get that. I'm not dogging it, but it was a little, to say that, you know, I couldn't get a Bang Bang Scissor Gang shirt or an Undisputed Kingdom shirt or a Blackpool Combat Club hoodie or something. That was a little disappointing. I'm not gonna lie. I get why a lot of the merch was Sting. I'm not crapping on that, but for them to not have anything else besides that, and then to run out an hour in, I was thinking when I went to the merch table at an hour into the show, I was like, maybe there's like a big surprise coming. Maybe like MJF is coming back and they're gonna, like, you know, they're taking all this stuff down, so when he comes back, they're going to put all his stuff up to say, I was there when MJF returned, or, you know, Mercedes Moné is going to make an appearance, or Okada is coming tonight. Like, that's what I kept thinking. But then I left the event, and the merch table looked exactly the same as it did after the scramble. So it was just, everything was picked over, and it was just really disappointing. But yeah, and then some of the booking too, like, it just felt like no stories were advanced. You know, the Don Callis family, like Will Ospreay's still in that. I thought for sure he would turn after that match with Takeshita, but nope. And then no Adam Cole with the Undisputed Kingdom to welcome Kyle O'Reilly back. That just felt like a letdown. And then yeah, and then like you said before, like, it was match after match after match after match. There's really there's not a lot of time to breathe. I had to like make a decision. I was like, I don't want to miss Tony Storm, but I was like, I gotta go get some beer, and so I snuck out.
Yeah, you do.
So I missed the Wardlow match. So I
didn't miss much.
Yeah, apparently Dante Martin took the pin and almost died, but yeah, he took the pin, and then I missed the intro. I was really disappointed that I missed the intro to Orange Cassidy and his one little firework, his little measly pyro that he comes out
fun.
to. Yeah. But yeah, the right person won that match with Roderick Strong. So
for sure.
Yeah, it was a good time at Revolution. It's just some fun. They need to fine tune some things with their production.
For sure. Do you make any friends since you were there alone?
Yeah, I met a couple of people. The guys beside me were really cool. People were wooing the whole time, though. I was like, can we stop? Like, I know we're in North Carolina, but because it's Flair country,
yes.
Everybody just woo. It's fucking annoying. Like, stop it.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, I met some cool people. I don't remember. You asked me their names. I won't be able to tell you, but
no, I don't. Yeah.
That's how I am though. I'll talk to everybody and like find out everything. And then my wife will be like, oh, what were their names? I'll be like, oh,
yeah, I don't.
But I know they have a dog, and I know they live in Winston-Salem, and I know that they, this guy brought his side piece, like all these things, all these little, like, yeah, he says he did. I don't know, but that's what he said. But I'm like, oh, well, what were their names? No idea.
I need to go on that level.
Did you get their phone number? Nope. You know what? And like, will you hang out with them ever again? Nope. So, but yeah, it was a fun time. It was a fun show.
I always say AEW live events are better than WWE live events. It just is what it is. The crowd is on another level. They're so into it. It doesn't even matter about the matches. I'm just into it. But merch always sucks. Not just for the Sting one. Anytime I go, I don't find shit. It's and WWE bad too, but at least WWE will have a few different people. AEW always has like 3 people to pick from. It's like the shirts that I don't know if it's because they work with Pro Wrestling Tees, so maybe they only get so many to kind of work with, but it's a joke, and they're all like $50. It's also way overpriced. But yeah, other than that, it's good. And like I said, If you want to eat or drink, you're gonna have to miss a match to go get some food and get another drink.
Yeah.
It's like 4.5 hours long, and you're like, I want more than one beer in 4.5 hours. It's pretty crappy.
Yeah, you
so
gotta like make a choice.
Have breaks. They need to have some backstage cut promos and some, but maybe they're going with that. Maybe they're doing that. You want to talk about Dynamite? Because maybe they're going to go that route. Because this was a WWE type Dynamite, and I want to say right beforehand, one thing I love about AEW hardcore fans, okay, is that they have never stopped saying that AEW is better than WWE. But every single time AEW does anything different, all of a sudden they're back. And I don't know what your back means if you never left. So, correct?
We're so
because AEW is always back. We're so back. Well, what are you so back from? Because for the past
where'd you go?
5 years, you've been saying you're better than WWE. So you're back now? I don't know. And everybody says this was like the best Dynamite episode ever, even though you're maybe not going to say that. But everyone was saying that. Why do you think AEW fans liked it? This was a WWE type AEW Dynamite. Let's get into it. You ready?
Yeah, let's do
it. 60 seconds. Oh, never mind. AEW Dynamite review. Here we go. The show opens with a new intro, theme song, and stage set. Out comes Swerve for a chat. Swerve doubts himself, but knows he is still destined to be the champion one day. Out comes Joe to brag about winning the title when the Undisputed Kingdom interrupts. Adam Cole says that they had a great night, meaning the Undisputed Kingdom. He sees Wardlow will win the belt and bring it back to where it belongs, pointing at himself. Are we really having MJF again? Swerve makes a Britt Baker calls him joke. So we get Swerve and Joe versus the Kingdom right now in a match that Joe and Swerve win, with Swerve getting the victory. Chris Jericho praises Hook. The Young Bucks pretend to be TK, I guess. I don't know what the fudge that was. Hook defeats Brian Cage. When the Gates of Agony attack Hook, out comes Chris Jericho to make the save. Orange Cassidy wants tag titles, so I guess no rematch. Once again, people are just losing belts this week and don't really give a shit about winning them back. We got, I lost myself now. Chase, okay, then we get outcomes. Oh, Daniel Garcia. Oh, here we go. We got Kill Switch defeats Matt Menard in about a minute. Out comes Daniel Garcia and Nick Wayne. Adam Copeland is back and attacks literally everyone. Chases Christian into the parking lot where Christian steals a car, drives off. Copeland then looks at the camera and says he wants the TNT title in an I Quit match in Toronto. Kyle O'Reilly is back, still in a coma. The Young Bucks come out to complain and saying Hangman is suspended and Kenny Omega is fired. Okay. Here comes the most talented wrestler ever, Eddie Kingston. Okada is all elite, and he lays out Kingston with a clothesline. That's his finishing move called the Rainmaker. And he's joined the Bucks. Statlander loses to Riho. Tony Storm is happy, and Willow wants Riho next. Darby Allin talks, and he will climb Mount Everest, hoping he doesn't die. Jay White comes out and asks him to join the Bang Bang Scissor Gang, but instead they will meet next week in a match. The House of Black versus Briscoes, Jay Lethal and Double J next week. Will Ospreay defeats Kyle Fletcher in the main event, and Bryan Danielson walks out and stares Ospreay down. In my 60 seconds and 47 mess ups or less Dynamite review. I apologize, AEW viewers. It was a lot to write. I had to scribble it, losing my focus. There was a lot to dissect, man. I want you. We're always opposite. I'm like, this was the best Dynamite ever.
Yeah.
There was literally only one part I didn't like. I didn't have, everything wasn't perfect, but there was only one thing I didn't like, one segment. You can probably guess which one, but you tell me what you like, what you did. I mean, what do you want to talk about? Where are you? Let's hear
I'll give AEW credit for the opening segment of Dynamite. I thought the segment was great. I thought they never open with an impromptu match or anything like that. That it
Promos.
Promo that leads to a match. It's always, we're gonna have your match. It'll be next week. It's the dream match. It'll take place at Big Business. It was we're gonna do this tonight and we're gonna do it right here, right now. So it was a cool way. I also liked the callback. This is what I've been wanting with the Undisputed Kingdom. I love that they came out and interrupted Samoa Joe and said that, you're only champion because we let it happen. Don't forget that. We let that happen. And then, my boy Wardlow is coming for you, and he's going to take your belt and he's going to hand it to me. So they're telling stories. And then Swerve Strickland, where does he stand in all this? And what about Adam Page? I know he's quote unquote suspended. So I'm I love the opening segment. I really did. I thought it was a cool way to introduce the new era of Dynamite. And I'm going to say this. I like the new set and the new logo. I like it. I'm digging it. I like the look of it. I'm it's going to take some getting used to, but I dug this. I dug the feel for it. I like that the tunnels are back and the heel tunnel, the babyface tunnel. I like it all.
Yeah. Well, production was good for sure. It looks a little bit different. But you can tell the writing and everything. I don't know if it's a girl who's doing it. I don't know if other people are realizing it. The thing is this, man. Internet people, Tony Khan needs to stop booking for the internet because the internet doesn't make ratings. And if you don't believe me, this show did 770,000 or whatever viewers, which is a joke. That's borderline laughable. The fact that they were in 700,000 when SmackDown is doing 2.8 million, that's a joke, bruv. And stop saying that like, oh, it's because SmackDown's been around longer. No. That's not it. 700,000 is laughable. Straight laughable.
Coming off of a big pay-per-view like that?
Yeah, so hopefully people saw this episode. Let's rate it on next week's. I like the opening as well. The only thing I didn't like was the Kingdom taking an L. They're the ROH champions. They beat MJF and Samoa Joe, and now they're just like jobbers. I didn't like, you can't. I hate when people come out like the Judgment Day. I hate it when they do it. When they come out and act tough and then just get their butts whipped. But I liked everything except the fact that Hangman Page wasn't mentioned. And yes, we can get into it if you want, that the Young Bucks mentioned. Never mind. I stated it. He was suspended because he attacked the ref or whatever. Then why'd you have him tap so quickly? Why did you make it? Because the announcers were making it look like he tapped so Swerve wouldn't win. And Swerve was so upset staring at him like, why'd you tap out to nothing? You just tapped out instantly. If he was going to get suspended, now that's going to get forgotten. So what was even the point? I was once again, I liked everything. I just don't get where you're going. Like, why? Help me. You said you think. Let's hear it.
I think he was suspended from the Elite. I don't think he was suspended from AEW. I think that was kind of what they were saying. Like, just like Kenny Omega, I don't think he was fired from AEW. I think he's fired from that YouTube show that they do, which is the Elite, or Being the Elite, or whatever.
Is that what it is?
That's what I'm thinking.
I heard it, but okay, okay.
Because that's how I understood it, and that's why they were getting such heat. And now they're replacing them with Okada. That's how I understood it. But so I don't. Yeah, but yeah, the whole thing felt off to me. It felt that whole like the Young Bucks. You just lost to Sting in Sting's last match, and you're coming out jokey and campy, and doing the Tony, and then doing the pointing at each other with Okada like you're Triple H. Like, I don't know. I feel like next week would have been the time to do that. I feel like this week was the time to be a little bit more like serious, and because it was Sting's last match and you lost to him, and but coming out and acting like that didn't even happen was a mess up in my opinion too. And then you didn't even have like Darby Allin come out and address them. You had Eddie Kingston. I know he's been kind of talking to him in the past, but you just had a match with Darby Allin, and yet you have Eddie Kingston come out and interrupt the Elite. I don't know. To me, it just that whole segment felt off. But yeah, I like the opening segment. I like that they're telling stories. I like that they're trying. They're trying to make AEW great, and I appreciate it. I appreciate what they're doing.
I agree. I agree fully. I liked it all, and I thought the Young Bucks stuff was utterly stupid. And that's the only part of this entire show I didn't like. I think everything was perfect? No, but it was good, and they tried, and it was fun, and it had me intrigued, and I wasn't bored at all. But the Young Buck thing is stupid, and let's talk about it since we're talking about him. You were over here hyping Okada. You're gonna pay him $4.5 million allegedly a year to have him join probably the most laughable thing going on in AEW. I'm sorry. I know AEW diehards are trying really hard to pretend like the Young Bucks are killing it with this whole like we're bad guys. And okay, well, look what The Rock's doing and look what the Young Bucks are doing. Stop with that shit. It's not even close. The Young Bucks doing the stupid Tony Khan stuff. They're just not there. I've always liked the Young Bucks. I still do. I'm a Young Bucks fan. I got multiple Young Bucks shirts. I don't like them because of their promo skills. That's just not who they are, and they're not delivering it well, and it's coming off flat. And now you're gonna have Okada, and I know Okada's a heel. I get it, and it's better than him joining the Don Callis family. But if you're gonna turn him heel, right away, I just felt like they never even had a chance to like enjoy him. he like came out and people popped, and then he instantly just like did that. That's his finishing move. That was lame as shit. That clothesline was laughable. But he does like the Rainmaker where he pulled his pants and then like clotheslined him, and the crowd was like silent. I felt like they didn't even know how to react. They were kind of like, "Huh?" They didn't even like boo, did they? I don't remember like any type of big response. It was pretty much silent because I think the crowd was like, "Why the hell are you joining the?" It made no sense. I'm giving it a chance. I'm not shitting completely. I'm just saying in the moment, I thought that was a good way to take the steam out of somebody that you were hyping and hoping to get, and that you got by paying them a lot of money to just kind of. I just feel like next week he's just going to be another dude in the organization already. I'm really nervous about Mercedes Moné next Wednesday because if AEW just doesn't know how to bring people in, not just WWE guys, any guy.
I'm hoping that with this Jennifer Pepperman, the new head writer or whatever,
you can see the difference.
You can tell a huge difference on Dynamite too. But apparently she was really close to Sasha Banks when she was in WWE. She actually wrote for Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks demanded that she write for her during her segments and stuff. So I'm hoping that with her involvement, that Mercedes will get the A+ treatment when she debuts, and she deserves it, and it should be. But I'm hoping that she can also rub off on Tony Khan and say, hey, we got to book Okada a little bit better already too. So maybe they have a plan. Maybe this is all part of a bigger thing that they have. I doubt it with AEW, but you never know. But yeah, to me, it was a solid. The reason why I didn't like it as much as everybody else was it was a solid episode of Dynamite. I'm not killing that, but it didn't feel like the Dynamite after a big pay-per-view. You had Roderick Strong come out with his belt, but you wouldn't have even known if it wasn't for that backstage interview that Orange Cassidy lost it at Revolution. Sting wasn't there to do, like, Tony Khan even announced at the media scrum after Revolution that we're stripping them of the tag team titles. You can't even have Darby Allin and Sting cut a promo on Dynamite and say, hey, thanks for the memories. It's been fun. We're officially vacating the titles. And then you announce your tournament that you're doing instead of doing it how they did it. I don't know. It just felt like, hey, we have this big event. It's Sting's last match. It's Revolution, big pay-per-view, best pay-per-view ever. And then you have Dynamite, and it's just like, okay, well, we're moving on. And we're just we're not even going to talk. We didn't even talk about Hangman Page tapping out. We didn't even talk about, Christian Cage is already back into a feud with Adam Copeland. He really didn't get any love for Daniel Garcia. Tony Storm and Deonna Purrazzo, did their thing, but I don't know. It just didn't feel like a post pay-per-view Dynamite. It felt like it was a good episode of Dynamite. I like the new set. I like the new look. I like the feel, but it just, after a big pay-per-view like that, I feel like I don't know. That was the big thing that missed for me.
I think I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing at all. I feel what you're saying. I think what I liked about it is because it felt different and it felt more paced and it felt more story driven.
I do agree with that.
I don't feel like anything that happened was pointless. Even when we got Will Ospreay against Kyle Fletcher, and I was like, what the fuck? I actually thought that match was better than Takeshita and Will Ospreay. Sorry. Will Ospreay still no sold the entire time, but Kyle Fletcher didn't. So it was just, if Will Ospreay is going to come in all the time and wrestle like that, it's stupid. He needs to stop now. He got 2 under his belt.
He's gonna get hurt.
Well, and but it's stupid. It's not a good match. Stop doing that. But Bryan Danielson and Will Ospreay staring at each other as we close the show. Yeah, all day, every day. I mean, that's like putting the 2 top 10 currently in a ring together. Yeah, sign me up, bruv. Sign me up. Take my money. Yeah, 100%. I'm all for it. So I like it, and then we're done with it. And keep Eddie Kingston off my damn screen, please. Just take I can't. I don't care what anybody says. Keep them off my screen.
Yeah. But I mean, it was a good episode, and I like what they're doing. I'm excited to see what happens at Big Business. I really hope for their sake that it gets more than 800,000 viewers. I hope they get 900,000. I hope they get 1 million. I really do, because I think the talent there deserves it, and and they've been hyping this event up for a while. So I really hope it pays off. I don't think it will, but I really hope it does.
I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm going to say it. If they don't do 1 million on Big Business,
they're never doing it again.
Nope. Like, you have Okada. He's going to be there. Will Ospreay's going to be there. Bryan Danielson gonna be there. You know Adam Cole, Wardlow, you know all these people, and you know for a fact Sasha Banks is premiering. If that don't pull 1 million, I don't care if it pulls 1 million on the dot. If that doesn't pull 1 million,
Yeah.
stop. Get out of my face with it. Stop. You'll
But
never get to where you need to go.
here's my thing though. Like, have they advertised it? I mean, like I see it on TNT and TBS all the time, but I don't see it I don't see commercials for Dynamite on non AEW channels. So that's kind of my concern, is that people may not know about it.
And you want to know why? You want to know why? Sorry, I just wanted to throw up the L. You want to know why? Because they only are on one channel, and that's why WWE is so intelligent. Because you see SmackDown on Raw and you see Raw on SmackDown, because they can do that because of the fact they're on different channels. You can hype that up. So people who watch SmackDown on Fox or wherever, and you're showing it, there's more production, more promoting. Plus, WWE just signed that, just 100 million YouTube followers or whatever it was. How much was it?
Yeah, 100 million.
Yeah, imagine that. They're like the 6th person ever to get 100 million YouTube
it's crazy
subscribers.
We're trying to get 1,000, and here they are having 100 million.
100 million. That's insane to me. So just shows levels to this, right? So
yeah. So
all right. But I still thought it was a great week. I know I said a 7 out of 10, and people are gonna be like, that's not fair. That was a 10 out of 10. To me, that's a good pay-per-view. I enjoyed it. There was just 4 or 5 matches that just really brought it down. I know live events are fun. Trust me, I'll stay it forever. I would rather go to an AEW event. I'm hoping we're passing on WrestleMania for the fact that we're hoping that AEW hits Vegas, and me and you will go to that. I will force you in Vegas to go. We will go to it. You need to come down to my bachelor pad, bruv. Not when I'm married. To my bachelor pad. We're going to go to Vegas, baby. Vegas, baby. We're going to have some fun. And
go to an AEW event. Yeah. It'll be fun.
We need to go to one together. We haven't gone to one together.
No.
So,
yeah.
And I go to every AEW event out here. So I'm all for it. Maybe they'll do one in LA too. Like the Dynamite might be in LA. Maybe they'll do it in Vegas and come down to LA. They were close. Who knows? But yeah, so I'm all about AEW. Good week. I'm looking forward to WrestleMania and the road to, and I'm looking forward to AEW, and I'm excited for big business. They got to deliver. And I think they will, because Sasha Banks and Tony Storm is going to be insane. By the way, how was it seeing Tony Storm live and in person, black and white? It's weird. How did they make it live and in person?
They don't.
Oh, it's just
the
I
know. It was disappointing. That was
you're watching it, you're like, ugh.
Yeah, if you hadn't told me that, what happened? I think because you told me that about at Full Gear, I would have 100% expected her to be in black and white. And when I went to my first wrestling event in like '98, I was so mad that you don't hear the commentary in the arena. I was like, what?
It's the worst. It really is.
Yeah, I was like, why can't I hear that? Like, what? I used to think like, surely you're going to hear Michael Cole and Jerry the King Lawler at a wrestling event, but no, they even show them coming out, but you don't get to hear them. So so the fact that Tony Storm wasn't black and white, that's another production fail in my opinion.
I remember when I went to WCW and WWE events back in the days, and like the DX and then like wasn't like flashy in this. I was like, what's going on? And when like the NWO didn't come out to the black and white, like the remember these used to come out with like black. I was always like, what's going on? It's stupid. But I was also in high school. I wasn't a grown adult. So.
Yeah, I didn't understand how it worked. Yeah.
You're like, what's going on? You damn North Carolina.
I know. I used to think, like, because I used to watch the Real World, and then and I watched the Challenge, and like I always thought the Real World was live, and like they used to air the Challenge and the Real World simultaneously. So I'm like, how is this guy on the Real World Philadelphia, but he's on the Challenge, which is in Trinidad and Tobago? Like how is he in 2 places at one time? Yeah, I was also a punk ass college kid, didn't know any better about production and how things work. So
you forgot that Eric Bischoff made live a thing. That's a fact, friends.
Yeah,
that's a fact. All right, you ready for our segment?
Always, man.
Should be a good segment. No rap, right? Just report card.
Yep.
All right. It's report card time. We're going to throw out a few maybe suggestions, maybe matches, maybe cards, maybe whatever. We want to bring up an AEW, and we will give it a grade of an A to an F. As always, you get to go first, my man. What is good? Hit me with your good stuff. Hit me with the best shot.
Let's go. I'll give you Sting's last match, beginning to end. How would you rank it?
Oh, why'd you have to say beginning to end? Because I hated the Darby spot. Why?
I know.
You know what? Here's the thing. I'm gonna give it, because I'm gonna follow you up with a Sting one too. So I'm gonna give it an A. Not an A plus because of stupid Darby, but I'm gonna give it an A only because, like I said, I'm seeing this not as Sting's last match. I'm seeing it as like Sting's last match in AEW and his run in AEW. And this was perfect. Everything about it was perfect. His run in AEW was perfect. Not saying it, I know I didn't say it was the best, but it was perfect. I liked everything just because of his age, how they handled him, how they worked him, and how impressed I am that he never lost. That's some Goldberg type shit that we should have talked about. And I'm surprised we didn't. I will say one thing though. As soon as that match was over, I was sad. And not because I'll never see Sting wrestle again, but because that really told me that I'll never, ever, ever have Sting and Undertaker. Not even like, I don't even get like a face-to-face or that's like that, I don't know, like in MMA world, that's like never having Fedor Emelianenko and Randy Couture. There's just certain things you always wanted, and I'll never, ever, ever get. I mean, people talk about Hogan and Brett. No, I never, ever, ever get to see Sting and Undertaker. That bummed me out. But yeah, it was well done, and I applaud Tony Khan and everybody. Well done, and I'm sure live there it was even better. So,
it was great, and I agree, and I'm also sad for the fact that he's really the last OG left from like the Attitude Era, the '90s era, that's still wrestling to this day. I know that Ric Flair's out there doing his thing, but who else?
You forget one. Come on.
Who?
Think? Come on. What have I become?
Oh yeah, Jericho.
Jericho was there before the Attitude Era,
that's
bro.
True. He's still
Jericho.
No, that makes sense.
You forget because he still kind of looks young, man.
Yeah. No, I've completely forgot about Jericho. But yeah, I mean, he's like, Jericho was in WWF, he was in WCW. Sting was really like the last WCW guy.
Yes,
like
I'll give you that.
Full on WCW guy. Then he left and went to TNA, and I know he came to WWE for a brief period of time, but to me, he's like the last true WCW guy that, and yeah, well, I completely forgot about Chris Jericho, but yeah, I give it.
He only wrestled where you were at and wrestled on Dynamite. And wrestles nonstop, but yeah,
he got a big pop too. I know everyone's like, "Oh, fuck Chris Jericho." He got a huge pop in the arena, so everybody
that's
was
already died.
Yeah,
hell yeah, that's already died on Twitter. That was stupid. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna follow you up with Sting. You ready?
Yeah,
you might get some flack for this. Let's see. Some praise. I want you to grade Sting's career.
Oh man. Okay.
And on top of his career, is he top 10?
Okay. I'm going to give his career an A-.
All right.
Because he was the face. You can make the argument that he was the face of WCW. You can make the argument that he was definitely the face of TNA. And you could, and then when he came to AEW, he wasn't the face of AEW, but he had a really solid run in AEW. Really, the only people that crapped the bed with Sting was Vince McMahon and WWE.
Yes,
he was, and they never should have put him in that match with Seth Rollins, and they never should have.
Had him lose to Triple H.
Triple H at 31, even though it was to build Triple H up for a future match with The Rock, which is, I think that's a bunch of gobbledygook. I think they're just looking for an excuse now.
I agree.
But, so I'm going to give his career an A. I'm going to say I'm an A- rather, because of that WWE run. I wish that he never went to WWE. I like the fact that he was like the one guy that never went there, despite how great they were. Like, yeah, I wish that he would have never gone there. And as far as top 10 in the ring, I think he's trying to think of who would be better. I mean, I'm going to say top 15. I don't think he's top 10.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Good on you. All right.
Yeah. But
A-. Sting some love. All right.
Yeah, but I love Sting. I'm sad that he's gone.
Yes. So once again, I'm gonna get crap because whenever I don't praise things too much, that it's like a bad thing, right? Sting's better than John Cena. I'll throw that out there. Okay, so just say that before I get. So I don't think Sting is top 10. I don't even think I put Sting top 20. And I know it's hard to say right now because in our minds he just retired, and you're like, no, bro, if you can't do that. Sting. I'm going to be unfair to Sting. Okay. I'm just going to do it because I rate my wrestlers off of who I like, right? I don't go off of talent when it
Right.
goes, 'cause
Yeah.
it's my favorite, right? So just like I hate Bret Hart won't even be in my top 100, right? Because I'm Shawn Michaels through and through, bro. If you can take your Bret Hart out of my face, I can never like him. It is what it is, dude. Just like I will never watch an episode of Seinfeld because it ain't Friends. When you have that kind of, just like, you know what I mean? I'll never like the 49ers, dude. I'll never say they're good. I'm a freaking I posted a whole thing about tribalism with these type of things. So it happens, right? So Sting, I'm gonna give him his career. I'm gonna say a B. I'm gonna give it a B. And here's why, right? Because I don't think he was ever top 10 in promos. I don't think he was ever top 10 ring ability. But I think he's top 10 in longevity and how long he lasted. Obviously, right? If you want to talk about how long people's careers went, he might be top 5. You know, Jericho, him, Taker, Flair. I'm missing some, who knows? But for how long people wrestled, how great you are. But my thing with Sting is that I was never a Sting fan. In WCW, I didn't really dig Surfer Sting. I didn't hate it, but it wasn't like my all-time favorite, right? And before that, I really didn't see him. I got WWE. When he became Crow Sting, I was an NWO fan, man. I was a Hogan fan. I know now it's bad to be a Hogan fan, but back then it wasn't. We didn't know he was a racist back then.
Yeah.
I liked Hollywood Hogan. I liked the NWO, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall. So I didn't like Sting. You know what I mean? So I just never really fell in love with that character just because he was always against the people that I liked. I hated the Wolfpack, and then he joined it, and I was like, ugh, that's even what. I was just never there. I did love him in TNA. I loved him as Joker Sting. I thought that was his best, just because he was just so damn good and so different. WWE, he sucked it up, wasn't his fault. TNA and then in AEW had a great run. So because of that, I'm going to give him a B. I know it's undeservingly. It's probably biased, and I'm admitting it only because I do things off of favorites. But yeah, so I do like Sting. I am sad he's gone. I respect. I wasn't like a Patriots fan or a Bucks fan, but I respect the GOATs. Sting's one of the GOATs, no matter where I put him. So thank you for your career. But I do say a B just because I was just never. I think I can name 20 wrestlers off the top of my head right now without even trying who I think had better careers than Sting. And that's not, once again, how many wrestlers are there? People always like, when I said Cena wasn't top 20, people are like, you're a freaking moron. I'm like, there's been 10,000 wrestlers. To say anybody's in the top 20 of anything is a compliment. So
yeah. I think the thing that for Sting, to me, that stands out is he just seems like a genuinely good guy. And
100%.
You know, I think like nobody, no matter, you know, Ryback came out and did a video on TikTok, and you can say what you want about Ryback, but he made a video about Paul Heyman and being how he's lied his whole career and he's been a weasel. He ain't saying that about Sting. You know, nobody has said a bad thing about Sting in his retirement. Nobody's been like, oh, well, that's not the Sting I know. The Sting I know is he's a shady guy. Even everybody loves Sting. Like, nobody has a bad thing to say about him. And he just seems like a genuinely good dude. And I think, to me, that says a lot, and that raises you up a little bit.
He's a true definition of what a good Christian is supposed to be. I'm just saying.
100%.
People are like, I'm a good Christian, but I hate these and I hate these people and I hate that. No, Sting is a good dude, and you can just tell he loves all. And wasn't afraid to take pins, wasn't afraid to win, wasn't afraid to do whatever. So, I mean, minus that one thing where he wasn't tan enough for Eric Bischoff, he really hasn't had any bad moments. He even helped carry Jeff Hardy in a match where he probably should have been even more pissed off than he was, and he handled his stuff. So, Sting will be missed, and Sting's persona. And if I was to rate Sting the person, it's an A+.
I would say if I'm Tony Khan, I say bring Sting on in some sort of backstage capacity. Maybe even, I mean, Sting may not want this responsibility, but talent relations, do something with talent relations.
Build morale. Yep.
Everybody loved that guy. Even current wrestlers. I know AEW has a tendency of, we don't talk to wrestlers for advice, but from everything I heard and read, they love Sting. They would always go to him for advice, and put him as talent relations or do something to build morale backstage. He may not want that responsibility, and I don't blame him, but do something, keep him on board somehow, some way.
I agree. All right, let's do our last ones. You ready?
Yeah. All right. I want you to rank or give a grade to which one do I want to go with? Okay. Well, all right, we'll stick with Sting, but the AEW Revolution cosplay. So grade Mariah May as Tony Storm, and then grade
Okay.
Sting's sons as Wolfpack Sting and Surfer Sting.
That's a good one. That's a good one. You know what? All A pluses, bruv. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Even on Dynamite, I already knew Mariah May was fine, but holy cow, she looked more Tony Storm than Tony Storm. I know that's like a thing like on the internet where somebody does. I thought that was her both times. I was like, Tony. That's not Tony. I bet live you from a
I was pissed.
Heck
yeah. When at live, I was like, I wanted to see the timeless gimmick. Like, why they go back to the old Tony Storm? As beautiful as she was, and as a smoke show as she was, I was like, why? Are they? And then I was like, oh, they got me. They got me because it was Mariah May. But yeah, that was some good stuff. That was awesome.
And she did it again to Renee the next day. On Wednesday to Dynamite. It was good. Sting's sons, 100%. Well done. They didn't look like Sting, but holy cow, committed that they got to do the splash. How cool is it that you were there? What a moment. A+ all around. I loved it. I loved it. And then the fact that the only time his family's ever been involved is his last match. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I thought the guy who was the kid who looked like Surfer Sting, thought he looked more Surfer Sting than the guy who played Wolfpack Sting.
Yeah, Yeah, you can tell he looks like his mom, obviously, right? He doesn't, but the other guy looks more like Sting. Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah, but yeah, I thought it was well done.
Yeah, those dudes are big too, man. Get in the biz. What are y'all sleeping on?
I know.
Your dad's like a Hall of Fame. Like, hello. All right, last one. You ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Not as fun as yours. I was gonna ask you to rate the stage and stuff, but I'm gonna skip that. You ready? I want you to grade this because I'm curious. Samoa Joe versus Wardlow for the title being booked next week. What is your grade on that? Making it hard.
I'm gonna say C-. I think
that's fair.
I think it's the right match, and I think that I'm happy to see Wardlow get his title, and he earned the opportunity by winning it. So it makes sense that they're having the match. I'm not even complaining about the story. It's more he just won the match. Like, can we have some build to it? Can we do this at you're having a new pay-per-view called Dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
Can we do this match at that pay-per-view? And have some build with the Undisputed Kingdom versus Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe got the title because of the Undisputed Kingdom with MJF and all that stuff. Like, can we? So I'm gonna say C- for the build, but it does make me wonder that something big is happening next week, and that's why they're doing it. Like a Maxwell Jacob Friedman return, costing Wardlow the match, setting up for him and Adam Cole in the future. And if that's the case, I'll take everything back that I said and say it's an A. But right now, just the lack of build, I'm going to say C-.
I didn't even think of that. If that happens too, I'm going to give it an A. I'm going to agree with you. I think it's a C-. I don't know why the hell you would already do it. I know. Here's my thing. If Sasha Banks is that girl, if Okada's that dude, why do you need a title match at Big Business? And I think that's the thing. Big Business, right? I think that's the thing, is that you just, I don't know. I feel like they don't trust it. And so they thought Wardlow's hot, but he ain't winning the belt. So you're going to have Wardlow lose again? Even if he gets cheated out to win, hurt him. Lose again. Yeah, I don't like it. Even if MJF does appear, which would be epic, and that would make it an A. Yes, Wardlow's going to lose again. I don't know. I'm not. When people are hot, man, you got to keep them hot. You can't have them lose, dude. And
yeah,
I don't know. I just think it's way too quick. He just won it, and you already go. Because then what are the? That was the whole Undisputed Kingdom thing. That was like their gimmick. Wardlow's was win and bring it home.
The belt. Yeah.
Yes, and now he's already gonna lose it. I don't know.
Then what happens?
We'll see.
Yeah.
I'll let it cook.
Out of the group. Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's really, which route are they going? I just don't. I see it more that way. I see it more him losing and them kicking him out. Yeah. That's how I see it, which is stupid too. So.
They should have never had him in it in the first place. But yeah, I think that's probably where they're going. But if MJF is back and he costs Wardlow the match, I'll take back everything I said.
Oh, heck yeah.
For the most, right now it's a C-, and they should have built it a little bit more.
I agree. All right. That's our AEW edition. Another good week in AEW. They've been having back and forth.
Yeah.
You were there live. You got your AEW filament. You don't have any shirts to say, but that's what happened to me every time I go. I'm like, where's the merch at? But we did that at Mania too. We didn't buy any merch. There was like no merch at Mania. Mania had a whole store and didn't have any merch. It was all Cody Rhodes and like
John
Stone
Cena
Cold shirts. Or John Cena. That's
John Cena G.I. Joe shirts. I was like, why?
Yeah, I was like, why do you have 7,500 and nothing else? Yeah. So, but other than that, man, great week. Excited for the future on both. I'm digging it. If you want to listen to me, follow me on all social medias at HBD Denton. I'm trying to pop on everything, blowing up on YouTube just like we are on Two Dudes, but my man will talk about that. So as always, my sidekick, my brother from another mother, Mr.
Ryan Enjoys Wrestling. Go follow me on all social media platforms. Go follow me on X at or follow us on X at 2 Dudes PC. Go follow us on TikTok at 2 Dudes with Attitudes. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We just hit 700 subscribers, so we're blowing up there. We want to get to 1,000 by WrestleMania, which is April 6th and 7th, and I think we can make that happen. So we appreciate all the love and support. And then if you're listening to us on Apple and Spotify, thank you for your love as well, and leave us a 5-star rating and review. Help us grow this podcast because we think it's the best podcast, and we want 2024 to be the year of the dude. So anything you all can do to help support, we appreciate.
That's right. 2 Dudes Attitudes. Wolfpack. Let's go.
We're Ryan and Denton. They here to get your attention. The 5-star broadcast shit. Start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E. The 2 dudes with the attitudes to bring the heat. Get the point. Yeah, it's on. Time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it popping.